Most people think liver damage only shows up when everything is falling apart, yellow eyes, sharp pain, hospital lights buzzing overhead. But here's the truth nobody talks about: over 80% of early liver problems start with tiny, weird signs that most folks brush off as just stress or getting older. And while that might sound scary, it's actually empowering, because catching these strange symptoms early can completely change someone's life, their well-being, their immunity, their energy, even their mental health. Think about it. How many times has a person felt unexplained fatigue, weird bloating, itchy skin, or a sudden change in body odor, and just shrugged it off? Meanwhile, their liver could be quietly struggling behind the scenes, affecting their metabolism, their digestion, their mood, their sleep quality, and even their ability to maintain a healthy weight or an active lifestyle. It's wild how something so small can ripple into someone's entire quality of life without them realizing it. And the craziest part? Most of these symptoms look nothing like classic liver issues. They're subtle, sneaky. They mimic everyday problems like stress, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, emotional burnout, or disrupted mindfulness routines. But the liver is the powerhouse of disease prevention. It drives detox, balances hormones, supports cardiovascular health, boosts immunity, and fuels a balanced, healthy lifestyle. When it's off, everything is off, even if the person has no clue why. And the longer someone ignores the signs, the more it messes with their mood, their sleep, their energy, and their emotional health. But here's the good news, and the reason this video might be a turning point. By the end of this, you'll know how to spot these strange signals early, protect your liver with simple habits, and build a future where your energy, mental clarity, and long-term health finally match the life you want. You'll see how tiny changes in nutrition, natural therapies, mindful routines, and preventive medicine can shift everything, sometimes faster than people imagine. When someone starts feeling unexplained fatigue, the kind that hits even after a full night's sleep, a wise mentor would point out that this isn't just being tired, but a subtle sign that the body may be struggling with deeper issues tied to metabolism, immunity, well-being, and even emotional balance. They might notice their routine feels heavier, workouts get harder, and simple tasks drain them faster, which affects not only physical energy but also mental health and long-term quality of life. And while most people reach for another coffee thinking it will fix everything, that only hides what's happening inside, because the liver plays a massive role in stable energy, disease prevention, and a healthy lifestyle. That's why small, practical actions, like grabbing a balanced breakfast such as oatmeal with berries and nuts, taking a 10-minute walk after meals to support cardiovascular health, or focusing on balanced nutrition, can create real change the same way compound interest builds wealth: slow, steady, and powerful. Emotionally, fatigue hits even harder, making people feel guilty for not being productive enough, which only increases stress, disrupts sleep, and creates a cycle that sabotages their mental health. But a wiser voice would remind them that fatigue is often a request for mindfulness, self-care, and better balance, not more pressure. Simple habits like reading Atomic Habits or The 4 Agreements before bed, drinking chamomile tea, or using magnesium glycinate can enhance sleep quality and emotional well-being in ways that ripple into every part of life. And here's the kicker most people never expect. Studies show that when the liver slows down, energy production can drop by up to 30%, which explains why even motivated people struggle to maintain an active lifestyle, stronger immunity, or healthy weight loss habits. This is where preventive medicine, daily hydration, small nutrition upgrades, natural therapies, and tiny mindfulness breaks become game changers that slowly rebuild vitality, emotional stability, and long-term wellness. And as strange as this first sign is, the next one reveals something even more surprising hiding beneath the surface, and it starts exactly where most people least expect. And in the next step, you'll see how something as simple as itchy skin can reveal more about your health than most people ever imagine. When someone starts dealing with itchy skin that shows up out of nowhere, with no rash, no redness, and no obvious irritation, a wise mentor would gently point out that this kind of discomfort often isn't about the skin at all. It's the body waving a quiet flag that something deeper needs attention, especially when it comes to well-being, detox, and disease prevention. Most folks chalk that itch up to dry weather, stress, or maybe a new soap. But when the liver isn't filtering toxins efficiently, those tiny buildups can mess with immunity, emotional balance, and overall quality of life, causing the skin to react even when everything looks perfectly normal on the surface. Someone might notice the itching gets worse at night, or after eating heavy foods, or when they skip hydration and balanced nutrition, and this pattern alone is a huge clue that the body is working overtime and needs more mindful care, more self-awareness, and a healthier lifestyle. Practical steps like increasing water intake, adding foods rich in antioxidants, think blueberries, spinach, turmeric tea, supporting natural therapies like milk thistle, or even taking a warm oatmeal bath can help calm the skin while rebuilding internal balance. And these simple habits can improve mental health, reduce stress, support sleep quality, and even promote healthy weight loss by reducing inflammation. Statistically, studies show that nearly 20% of people with early liver dysfunction report unexplained itching before any major symptoms appear, meaning this tiny annoyance can actually act as an early warning system that protects long-term cardiovascular health, emotional well-being, and immunity. And once someone understands this connection, the whole thing becomes less confusing and more empowering, because they finally see how small, consistent choices, like staying active with light exercises, practicing mindfulness for emotional health, or following an active lifestyle, can reshape the way their body feels from the inside out. And just when this sign already seems unusual, the next one dives even deeper into the hidden ways the body tries to communicate, revealing something people almost never associate with liver issues, yet experience far more often than they realize. And in the next step, you'll see how even changes in body odor or breath can say more about your health than a full checklist of symptoms. When someone starts noticing weird changes in their body odor or breath, something sour, metallic, or just off even when they brush their teeth, shower, and do everything right, a wise mentor would softly point out that this isn't about hygiene at all, but often about how the liver is processing toxins, regulating metabolism, and supporting overall well-being. Most people feel embarrassed, blaming stress, lack of sleep, or their diet. But when the liver gets overwhelmed, certain compounds that should be filtered out end up escaping through the skin and breath, affecting emotional confidence, immunity, and even mental health in ways they never expected. A person might notice this odor become stronger after heavy meals, sugary snacks, processed foods, or long periods without exercise, which is a huge clue that their lifestyle needs more balance, better nutrition, and gentle preventive medicine. Practical steps like adding chlorophyll water, eating parsley or mint, practicing mindful breathing before meals, or choosing an active lifestyle, like quick 15-minute walks after dinner, can support cardiovascular health, digestion, and detox pathways, while also boosting emotional well-being and reducing stress naturally. Research shows that unusual breath odor occurs in up to 35% of people with early liver dysfunction, long before major symptoms appear, making it one of the body's most underrated warning signs. And when someone learns this, they suddenly understand how powerful small daily habits like hydration, mindful eating, natural therapies, and balanced nutrition can be for long-term quality of life, healthy weight loss, and stronger immunity. And just when this sign already seems surprising enough, the next one reveals a completely different angle, something visible, immediate, and often mistaken for clumsiness or aging, even though it carries a deeper message the liver has been trying to send all along. And in the next step, you'll see how easy bruising or bleeding can uncover what's really happening inside your body, even when everything seems normal on the outside. When someone starts noticing bruises appearing out of nowhere, on their arms, legs, or even from the slightest bump, a wise mentor would calmly explain that this isn't just clumsiness or getting older, but a subtle signal that the liver may not be producing enough clotting factors to protect their well-being and overall quality of life. Most people shrug it off, thinking they hit something without noticing, but when bruises become more common, darker, or show up faster, it can reflect deeper changes connected to immunity, emotional health, and even how the body manages stress and disease prevention. They might also see that small cuts bleed longer, or that their gums bleed when brushing their teeth, which is a huge clue that their nutrition, sleep quality, and lifestyle balance need more attention, especially because a struggling liver affects everything from healthy weight loss to cardiovascular health in ways most people never link together. Practical actions like increasing vitamin K through foods like spinach, broccoli, or kale, adding citrus fruits for vitamin C, using natural therapies like turmeric with black pepper, or focusing on regular light exercise can strengthen blood vessels, improve circulation, and support preventive medicine while boosting emotional well-being and reducing stress naturally. Studies show that impaired liver function can increase bruising risk by up to 50%, long before someone experiences any major symptoms, which is why tuning into these small signs can be life-changing. And once a person understands this connection, they gain the power to rebuild balance through mindful habits, better nutrition, and an active lifestyle that protects their long-term health. And while this sign already feels surprising, the next one might be even more eye-opening, because it deals with something people often blame on diet, hormones, or just being bloated, without realizing the liver could be quietly asking for help. And in the next step, you'll see how sudden abdominal bloating or fluid retention can reveal what's truly happening beneath the surface, sometimes long before anyone recognizes the real cause. When someone starts dealing with sudden abdominal bloating or fluid retention, especially the kind that shows up overnight or feels different from normal digestive discomfort, a wise mentor would gently point out that this isn't just gas or a random heavy meal, but a deeper sign that the liver might be struggling with fluid balance, detox pathways, and overall well-being. Most people blame hormones, salty food, stress, or a busy lifestyle, but when bloating becomes persistent, tight, or uncomfortable in a way that affects sleep quality, emotional health, or their ability to maintain an active lifestyle, it often reflects how the liver is managing inflammation and disease prevention behind the scenes. A person might notice their belly feeling hard, their rings becoming tighter, their ankles swelling after long days, or their energy dropping whenever the bloating appears, huge clues that their nutrition, mindfulness, and hydration habits need more balance to protect cardiovascular health and immunity. Practical steps like reducing processed foods, adding potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocado, and sweet potatoes, drinking ginger tea, practicing deep breathing before meals, or walking for 10 minutes after eating can support digestion, natural therapies, and healthy weight loss while easing emotional stress and improving long-term quality of life. Research shows that when the liver becomes overwhelmed, fluid retention can increase by up to 40%, affecting not only physical comfort but also mental health, self-esteem, and daily productivity. Understanding this helps someone stop blaming themselves and start focusing on preventive medicine, balanced nutrition, and mindful self-care routines that restore equilibrium. And just when this sign starts making more sense, the bigger picture becomes clearer, because when someone learns to decode these strange warnings from the body, they unlock the power to transform their health from the inside out. And in the next step, you'll see how all these signs come together to reveal a truth most people never hear until it's too late, and how you can take control long before that happens. When someone starts dealing with sudden abdominal bloating or fluid retention, especially the kind that shows up overnight or feels different from normal digestive discomfort, a wise mentor would gently point out that this isn't just gas or a random heavy meal, but a deeper sign that the liver might be struggling with fluid balance, detox pathways, and overall well-being. Most people blame hormones, salty food, stress, or a busy lifestyle, but when bloating becomes persistent, tight, or uncomfortable in a way that affects sleep quality, emotional health, or their ability to maintain an active lifestyle, it often reflects how the liver is managing inflammation and disease prevention behind the scenes. A person might notice their belly feeling hard, their rings becoming tighter, their ankles swelling after long days, or their energy dropping whenever the bloating appears, huge clues that their nutrition, mindfulness, and hydration habits need more balance to protect cardiovascular health and immunity. Practical steps like reducing processed foods, adding potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocado, and sweet potatoes, drinking ginger tea, practicing deep breathing before meals, or walking for 10 minutes after eating can support digestion, natural therapies, and healthy weight loss while easing emotional stress and improving long-term quality of life. Research shows that when the liver becomes overwhelmed, fluid retention can increase by up to 40%, affecting not only physical comfort but also mental health, self-esteem, and daily productivity. Understanding this helps someone stop blaming themselves and start focusing on preventive medicine, balanced nutrition, and mindful self-care routines that restore equilibrium. And just when this sign starts making more sense, the bigger picture becomes clearer, because when someone learns to decode these strange warnings from the body, they unlock the power to transform their health from the inside out. And in the next step, you'll see how all these signs come together to reveal a truth most people never hear until it's too late, and how you can take control long before that happens.